Welcome to the 30s Guide. In today's video, we are taking boring outfits and making them interesting by adding personality. The thing about personal style is it is a reflection of your personality. So you cannot have personal style if you are just following trends or if you're staying inside your comfort zone when it comes to clothing. But this video is chock full of tips for how you can incorporate your personality into outfits. Stay tuned. The idea for this video came from an Instagram poll where I asked my audience, what do you have a problem with when it comes to styling your outfits? And one 30s Guide gal said, the items I find visually interesting and beautiful don't look that flattering on me. So I end up wearing more flattering but boring clothing instead. And I totally relate to that. It's just so easy to play in our comfort zone. But if you're someone who likes to show up as your boldest, best self, then this video has lots of tips that you'll be able to incorporate when you make your own outfits. So let's get started with the first everyday weekly outfit. Now the first outfit is this kind of boring, bland business casual look. It does not express anything about personality. It really just kind of looks like I went into the local Gap and found some neutrals and here we are. Instead, I'm going to step by step swap out pieces to express my personality. So the first thing I see wrong with this outfit is that everything is just too dull. While I do like a good monotone look, you've got to add texture and visual interest. Otherwise, it just looks bland. So the first thing I'm going to do is swap out this more dull chambray top for something that is more shiny, sophisticated, and eye-catching. So I've got this eggplant purple satiny top that is going to bring a lot of visual interest to this outfit. And the second thing I want to do is add another little shiny object that is going to add some detail and attention, and that is with this belt. This belt has a great eye-catching belt buckle, so it's kind of like adding jewelry but with a practical piece. And then the texture of the leather on the belt is also visually contrasting with the jeans, but in a very subtle way that's certainly appropriate for your professional life. So the third thing I'm going to do is swap out this dainty chain necklace for a bolder necklace, and that's going to draw attention upwards towards my face. But then I noticed that everything still looks a little bit generic and not necessarily expressing my personality. So I'm adding in this red bracelet that is a personal jewelry piece. I really recommend as you're rounding out your jewelry collection that you find things that are personally meaningful to you. It's a way of creating a foray into personal conversation that shows a little bit about who I am. So this piece has a really long story and I'll save that for personal conversations, but just know that this is why I chose a piece that doesn't necessarily perfectly jive with the outfit, but it's not distracting enough. It's just something that is interesting. Now at this point, I like this outfit, but I want to add a pop of a third color detail. So I'm going to choose my red leather handbag that I've had for a while. And the next thing I'm going to do is add a bold lipstick. Now I normally wouldn't recommend a really bold, bright color for a business professional setting, but this outfit is a little bit understated and I want to add a little bit more personality. So I think because the color palette is more muted, I can get away with doing a bright red lip, and that's also going to coordinate with the handbag and the bracelet. Now here is a common personal style tip that I've found to be very useful for me. When you're done getting ready, look in a full-length mirror and decide, is there one thing I can add or take away from this outfit that would make it look more cohesive? And I decided there was one thing missing, and that's something that contrasts all of these different structured pieces I'm wearing. So I wanted to add a scarf, and it adds a pattern, whereas I don't have any other patterns in this outfit. So it is very visually interesting without having to wear like a head-to-toe jumpsuit, which I've also been known to do, but this is more of a business casual look. So I think it just completes everything while adding visual interest. Just so you know, most of the pieces I own are old, as in they're not this season. Maybe they're 2 years old, 3, 4, 5, 6 years old. The ones that I have recently purchased, I will link down below, but most of my pieces are older because it's part of my style ethic. You can't buy style. You can buy pieces that complement your personal style, but most of your style is honestly already hanging in your wardrobe. It's just about the way you put outfits together to express yourself. So keep that in mind. There are links down below, but most of the pieces I own are older. The second outfit I want to look at is a sporty casual look. And when I was putting this together, I was picturing attending like a football game because it's fall. So this is a sporty casual weekend look. And the first thing I see wrong with this is that it is so predictable. A white t-shirt, dark skinny jeans, and white sneakers, I feel like it's a millennial uniform, and that's fine as a base outfit, but then I really want to inject my personality into it because I'm not like anyone else. You are not like anyone else. You're unique, so let's figure out how to fix this outfit. The first thing I'm going to do is add color with this jacket. You can also do this by swapping out the t-shirt, or if it's hot outside, you can wear the jacket over your shoulders or around your waist. But since the jacket has a structured collar, it's going to bring a little bit more sophistication to this loose, baggy t-shirt. The second change I want to make is the shoes. Now these are my white sneakers, but I like them more with like a dress that has a pattern, and so it just doesn't distract from that, and it's very practical because they're easy to walk in. With this outfit though, it's just really boring. So swapping these shoes out for something that's more of a funky sneaker, and I'm really happy with this purchase of these sneakers. I bought them from Cole Haan. They have so much detail and interest to them, but I know that like Nike and different brands are making lots of different colorways with sneakers. But if you're someone who usually buys white sneakers, consider if you're wearing them with jeans that you already have a color palette that you know of. So buy some sneakers that are more fun and funky and interesting that would fit with your jeans outfit's color palette. The third change I'm going to make is something that is typically an afterthought, and that is the hairstyle. A lot of times we think that as long as the hair is down and brushed, it's a lot prettier, but pretty isn't always the style I'm going for. So with this look, I'm going with a sporty casual vibe, not a pretty vibe. So I'm just going to put my hair up, and I am so thankful that there is an option besides a ponytail holder now. I think my hair is in a claw clip like 5 days a week. So once my hair is up, the last thing I'm looking at is that my face looks a little bit monotone and dull. So I'm adding a little bit of depth with this lipstick. And here's the final look. Something that is still sporty casual, a great weekend look to put together, but it's also thoughtful, intentional, and expresses my personality. Before I move on to the next two outfits, hit that like button on this video if you're enjoying it, and let me know in the comments what is one tip that you're going to incorporate when styling your outfits. All right, this third look is a date night chic look. Now, when I was in my 20s, this is typically what I would wear. Something strappy, short, some high heels, and honestly, just very predictable. So when I was in my 20s, I thought sexy was just showing as much skin as possible, having the highest heels possible. But in my 30s, I find like a more sophisticated sexy is intrigue, which means not showing as much skin, but just being strategic with where you're showing it, versus just unintentionally wearing something short and tight. So after I've turned this dress into a midi dress, I really like this belt style with it, so I'm going to keep it, and then I'm going to swap out the shoes. That's another huge change that I had from my 20s to my 30s. In my 20s, I thought stilettos were so cool, and my feet would be throbbing by the end of the night. In my 30s, I really prioritize walkability because I want to be in a good mood all night, and I want to take care of my entire body. Stilettos wreck your spinal alignment, and I'm already thinking about what is life going to be like in my 60s, 70s, and 80s. I want to still be very active, so I'm trying to take care of my entire body by wearing lower heels. That was a really long explanation, and maybe it makes me sound old, but it's just what is going on in my head as I'm deciding on footwear. So with these black strappy sandals, I'm already repeating the theme of the black strappy belt, and I really like that. It looks intentional. But just like the first outfit, I want to add a third color, and that is where this jacket comes in. First off, because it's not matchy-matchy with everything else, it's going to add more of a cool vibe to it. And secondly, it adds that third color, which looks well thought out. And so at this point, I realized that there was a lot of bulk going on up here with my hair and the jacket. Now, ordinarily, I would put my hair up in maybe like a French twist for date night, But I decided to try something a little different, and that's how you explore your personal style. So instead, I just moved my hair over to the side to see how that felt, and I really liked that with this look. Now, remember how we talked about the personal jewelry piece? Well, this is where I decided to change out that dainty gold necklace for something that has a little bit of meaning to me. Every time I wear this necklace, somebody asks me about it. And then I'm adding some lip color just to bring some depth into my face. Lastly, when I was deciding on a handbag for this look, I decided on the black one because it's pretty understated, and I didn't want something that distracted from the boldness of the dress or the boldness of the color of the jacket. So I thought black would be good and tie in the black accessories theme. So this final outfit I think is sexy in a sophisticated way and also is comfortable. I'll be able to walk downtown in this, dance in this, and be perfectly happy all night. With this last outfit, I decided to call it my weekend errands look. So I want something that's casual and chic, but also very easy to throw on a Saturday. So with this first outfit, I just find it to be really bland. I know that neutrals are really trending, especially with influencer recommendations, but I've thought about this for a long time. Why do I feel boring in those colors? I just feel like everyone else. I feel like it's not expressing my personality at all. And I think it's because it's just a really safe way of dressing. It might look good in photos on Instagram, but that's because it's a very curated palette. So it's selling you this idea that if you buy these neutral outfits, then your whole life will be cohesive, but that's not the case. Most of the environments that you're in are not neutral colored. So if you buy all these different outfits in neutrals, you're just going to feel kind of bland when you go out in the real world. However, I do not own every color under the sun. I really stick to a color palette. I like pinks, reds, purples. Emerald looks really good with my skin. A rich brown, like in the jacket I had in the previous outfit. I think finding the color palette that works with your skin tone, with your hair color, and just the colors that make you happy to wear is really important in determining your personal style. So going back to this weekend outfits look, the first thing I noticed is that everything is the same shade of ivory, so we need to add some visual interest with color. So I'm going to swap out these ivory heels for a sandal that is a rich brown shade, and also the strappiness and detail of the sandal make it a lot more interesting. And along with that, I want to add shape with a belt. This is just really important in highlighting my body shape. So if you're curvy, especially if you're pear-shaped or an hourglass figure, a belt is really going to highlight that waist, and that is exactly what you want to do. The third change I'm going to make is adding this sun hat. And I know a lot of you think you don't look good in hats, but try some of the newer styles. I think a lot of the styles from 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, weren't very flattering on most people, but there's so many different colors and varieties now, and it might be the piece you need to add interest to an otherwise dull outfit. And speaking of interest, the last change I want to make to this outfit is adding a detailed, interesting handbag. The style and color of this dress are pretty plain, so we need something that is the eye-catching piece, and this handbag is it. So there we have it, a weekend errands look that is interesting, not too fussy, definitely casual, and it's one that I've worn many Saturdays. So those are the 4 outfits, and I hope you enjoyed this video and it gives you something to think about in incorporating your personal style into your outfits. Please hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next week with a brand new topic. Take care.